happy for some of us Monday afternoon, evening in sunny Metro Manila. It's just after 6 o'clock on the 8th of February. And today we're very privileged to have a guest with us. Jeff, why don't you go and introduce yourself and say hello to everybody?
Hi, I'm Jeff. I'm an avid Liverpool supporter and very depressed today. Been here in the Philippines for 20 years. Have had massive experience beating Ali on the football pitch, which is good because his team sucks. And I'm looking forward to having discussions throughout the day today because I've already started drinking because it's been a rough day and I know I'm going to get taken the piss out of. So welcome.
Yeah. So listen, viewers, audience out there, before we get into this, I've got to put a disclaimer out. I have a feeling, and Jeff, excuse the terminology, but I think the words are going to be very blue today. I would not say this is for family viewing today. So obviously it's myself, Paul Catherall, and the usual gang. Say, Ollie, Jet, Mike, say hello, everyone.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
Right, so listen, let's not beat around the bush. Let's get straight into it. So, Jeff, you're not alone today, mate. We have brought in Mike, who is a fellow Liverpool fan, and Jet is an Arsenal fan. And before we get into the Liverpool, Jet, what was the score over the weekend? Arsenal Villa.
1-0.
1-0 to who?
To Aston Villa. Those words are very difficult to come out of my mouth.
So listen, mate. I'll give you this. I'll give you this. Right. Second half, you were by far the better team. We were clinging on second half. If you find a way to A, cross the ball, and B, have a number 9, you'd have beaten us quite comprehensively on Saturday. So I was watching it through my fingers, to be honest. Particularly the last 5 or 6 minutes, I was scared. So there we go, mate. So I'll take the win, and we've now got exactly the same points now in the season that we had at the end of last season, and we've still got 17 games to go. So fingers crossed, we're safe.
You're safe.
Right. Let's hope so, man. Let's do this. I don't know where to start, Jeff. I really don't.
Just don't start.
Well, here, how about I start it this way?
Talk about golf.
Come on.
Ever since Neil moved to Birmingham, I have become a Birmingham supporter. So, screw Aston Villa.
Right, we're going down that route. Fair enough.
I had to go somewhere.
Mate.
Fair play to Neil Etheridge, Filipino goalkeeper, Birmingham starter.
Yeah, it was his birthday yesterday as well, right? I think.
Yep.
They lost.
It was, yeah.
Yep. It was.
All right, then. So rather than deflecting, mate, let's deal with it. What's going on, or what's going wrong at Liverpool? And there's two of you. Mike, please feel free to chime in as well, mate. But let's get the guest to
Let's let the guest go ahead and take it.
I think you need to change the question, mate. I think you need to ask what's going right. And the answer to that's really not much. Look, let's be honest. I would have much rather been on this in November rather than today.
There was a reason for that, Jeff.
I know. Look, let's be honest. Let's throw the championship away. It's not happening. Need to focus on getting the heads back on straight and shooting for the top 4. I think there's a multitude of things that are going on. Look, and let's be honest, it's City's title. No one's catching them. I don't care if there's a United fan out there. United's certainly not catching them because they suck too. But from a Liverpool's perspective, it's one of those things that you can't draw West Brom. You can't lose to Burnley. You can't lose to Brighton. That's where the problem is. You're going to lose to City. That's going to happen. There is zero creativity that's being able to break through these bottom 6 sides, and that's where the points lost are killing us. Even if you flip 2 of those results around, they're not winning the title, but they're in second place.
What do you think's caused the dramatic fall off? Because is it recently, or has this been building for a while? I know that Mike, we've spoken in the past over the challenges that Liverpool have faced with, particularly Van Dijk being out. Do you think this has been building for some time, or has this suddenly just happened for whatever reason?
Well, I think. Well, we finally had all our players injured, and that's really humble. We don't have as strong a squad as Man City. Last year we did really well with our core players. Now, it's caught up to us. I guess not getting good enough replacements. We got Thiago, it's great, but that's not where we needed it. And our defense is just not strong enough without Van Dijk and the others.
What's your take on Thiago, Jeff? Do you think he's a decent signing?
Oh, I think there's a couple things there. I think, other than last night, and last night was more, let's be honest, Alisson didn't have his best effort, but you take the other matches, it's not the back four that are struggling, it's the front six, and part of that problem is that your midfield has gotten so screwed up because you have Fabinho playing back in the back line, you've got Henderson playing in the back line, that spark in Diego Jota being injured, but also the thing is when you miss someone like Van Dijk and Van Dijk's presence and Van Dijk doing Van Dijk things, everyone else just kind of comes back a little bit. They're a little less excited to go forward. And you even saw last night, Robertson got caught out up top. Henderson got caught up a little high last night, and they're just out of position. But the whole structure and the whole mold of the team and how it was been set up is, when you lose your top three center backs, it does cause a problem. I think, I'll be honest, I think the team's tired. I think a lot of you don't have that rotation. I mean, if you've missed your three center backs, you're missing Keita, you're missing, even though Keita has been crap since he's been there, he's still another body and he's a good body. You're missing Jota, who had come in and really been a spark, and you're missing goals right now, and that's a guy who can spark it in. You asked me about Thiago. It's hard to say. Thiago's a phenomenal player, an absolutely phenomenal. Does he fit in the Liverpool system the way that should be? That question I still think remains out there. But the proof is, ever since he started, they haven't been winning. But you can't take away from him. He's phenomenal player.
What about this? So I've read a couple of theories online, and of course, everything that anybody says online is completely accurate and it's to be believed. Obviously, right?
Ollie Lewis is the best striker ever. I saw that the other day.
There seems to be this theory about the way that Klopp plays, and honestly, mate, I'm not close enough to say yes or no, but he plays this kind of heavy metal rock type of football, right? It's constant press. And there's this theory that says, I read it somewhere, that on the third season, that style of football, that then does start to take its impact on players. And you were talking about Liverpool players looking tired, maybe a little bit leggy. Do you think there's some truth in that, or do you think that's just people looking to basically come up with stories on why Liverpool aren't performing?
Me or Mike?
I don't care. Either of you is fine.
I'll just chime in quickly, Jeff. Then you can take it, Jeff. Well, just for an example, when he was with Dortmund, they had, they won, and then they just kind of floundered after that. And obviously it makes sense that if you're running around so much, which we were doing, exerting a lot of energy, it just makes sense that you'd be tired. And we don't have a deep squad to be able to do that. So I could see that. I don't know how. I guess we have to go out and buy more players in the summer. But right now, I'm just thinking about, let's get Champions League, and then and then let's stay in there. Yeah. Thanks, Jeff.
Right. We've known
you go on, Jeff. What do you think?
Hang on, before we go to Jeff, Mike, we've known each other just over 12 months, right? And I don't think I've ever known you to be so downhearted when you're talking about Liverpool. You're really taking this to heart, right? You're gone. You've gone.
I've been watching my dad's football team in Switzerland. We're second division, but we're third. I'm trying to get some joy from that.
Got to find joy where you can, mate. Sorry, Jeff. Go on, mate.
I don't know. There's a lot to it, and there's the schedule this season has been ridiculous. I don't care who it is, whether it's Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea, the top 4, top 5, top 6. I mean, they're playing 2-3 games a week, and it's just not normal. I mean, these guys obviously are professional footballers. They get paid a lot of money, but they're just you're not getting a lot of that recovery time. And I think if you look at how Liverpool have played this season, that rock and roll style football really hasn't been there. That high press, that push, you don't see it as much anymore. They've been the ones with the ball. They've been the ones with the 65-70% possession. So they're not needing to press forward and doing that. Everyone else is backing off of them, but they don't know what the hell to do with it. And they're sitting there, they're just pinging the ball around the midfield. There's just that the runs of the top 3 and that final ball has just been lacking. I mean, you saw I can't even go. What was the goal? 411 minutes with no goals at Anfield or something stupid like that, until Salah scored, and it was a penalty. It wasn't even like, and it was a dodgy penalty, if you're lucky. So I don't know. They are tired. I think the post championship hangover is legitimate. I think early on in the season, you look at 2 very crucial matches where they dropped points at Everton and at Brighton, where they dropped 4 points in those 2 matches. And at that point, and they were probably, and then the we won't talk about the Villa match, but you look at those 3 results, and everyone else in the league started to see that invincibility shy away. And especially those first 2 results, when you look at the Everton match and the Brighton match, they won those 2 matches. I don't care about what the VAR was about, as dodgy as it comes on those 2. But those 4 points I think were stolen. But you start to get that little bit of doubt, and it just, people were starting to see that they had the opportunity against Liverpool, and then Burnley came in and beat them in Anfield, and they haven't won 3 in Anfield. So, and we've got Leicester and Everton as our next 2. God help us.
Everton could do as a massive favourite. Actually, you two as a massive favourite against Everton. But listen, quick one before I bring in Ollie. So you guys have talked about the lack of depth in terms of the squad. Do you think this is a miss from the recruitment? I know you signed Thiago and you obviously signed Jota as well from Wolves, and unfortunately he's injured. Do you think there was a miss there from the recruitment side, or it was just, it is what it is? COVID hit. They don't necessarily have the finances. Because the reason I asked that, Jeff, is that on last week's live stream, Ollie made a sweeping statement that that managers have apart from 5% of the managers, 95% of managers have no impact at all on the outcome of sports results. So I was just wondering whether or not you think there's a miss there when it comes to the recruitment strategy, or this would have happened anyway.
I think Ollie's full of shit with that statement. We'll talk about that later. When you look at, I think look, you've got 9 players that are out. When you look at the Brighton match 2 days ago or whatever it was, you're missing Alisson, Van Dijk, Gomez, Matip, Keita, Mane. I can't remember. There's just so many of them that you just can't even remember. You have those 9 players, even half those players. That's 5 more in the squad. Your squad depth is there. If anything, I would have liked to have seen a replacement from a Liverpool's perspective. I would have liked to have seen a replacement for Lovren come in at the beginning of the season to have that additional center backup. I'm really chuffed about these 2 new guys that they've brought in over the winter break, but you can't. Klopp was right in terms of not throwing them into the deep end against City. That would have been even sillier. So I'm excited to see them come in. I can't remember his name. Not Davies, the other one. He's going to be a real strong guy for the future. And I think he's going to give Joe Gomez a run for his money in terms of the starting slot over the next few years. I think Matip's gone at the end of the year too, but that's just me. But the only thing I would have asked for at the beginning of the season would have been an additional center back, or honestly to keep Lovren, because I know Liverpool fans give him a lot of stick and all that, but for a 4th center back, he was a quality player, and the team loved him, and they had that bond. I mean, and you can't say enough about the team bond and that group that was so tight. So he was an influential leader within the locker room, not so much the on the pitch, where he wasn't the best in the world, but he was serviceable.
Sometimes you just need that presence in the dressing room, don't you, to get you over the line, like a leader like that. So yeah, I get it.
Or to get you through the hard times. And one other thing that I'm going to comment on is we're 28 points off of where we were last year, or something like that. The Anfield effect, I think you're really starting to see as well. I mean, you're missing. You were last year those West Brom draws, those Newcastle draws, you were winning them 2-1. You were thinking that, and that 12th man in terms of the Anfield crowd. I know everyone's dealing with it, but you just feel that there's just a few more points out of Anfield than there are out of, say, Old Trafford, where, as Roy Keane calls them, shrimp and pastry, whatever the hell he calls them.
Yeah, that was the famous comment, right?
Prawn and Cracker Brigade,
prawn and Cucumber Brigade, or something, right? But actually, Jeff, you're right. I think I'm right in saying that this season, well, not this season, but even the previous season, right, has seen the most away victories ever. And a lot of people are saying that's down to Vans, right? So, and there's so for example, Villa. I hate to say this, but actually, I think at the start of the season, it worked in our favour when we didn't have home fans, so that we weren't feeling that stress. Seriously, we weren't feeling that stress when we were losing games. Now, we didn't lose our first home game, did we, Jeff? I think we beat somebody 7-2, but we won't talk about that. We won't talk about that. Ollie, mate, I know you're never one to shy away from controversial subjects, mate. What's your take on Liverpool at the moment, buddy?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think Mikey and Jeff obviously said some valid points there, and I'm sure Jet will. But as we've been talking for the past few weeks about it, I mean, I want to say he's a one-trick pony, right? But, start playing other people. Don't, let Trent play 75 games in a row, right? Because they're going to burn out. And I think his first 11, especially, as Jeff mentioned, the front 6, they've just burnt out guys. I mean, they must have been playing probably, 40, 50 games in a row. And I think they've got depth. I mean, they've got that Japanese guy. There's obviously...
he's Southampton now.
Southampton, yeah, he's gone.
So you're saying that the manager should do something
and also,
to game. Is that right?
You should rotate a bit more, right?
Is that okay? Yeah.
But he's a top 5% manager, as I said last week. Not 95% manager. That's a big difference. Now,
But you look at
Dean Smith.
Tuchel, and he's come in and done a good job.
He could be.
Could be. I swear to God, Ollie, I don't know what you need to do as a football manager to impress you. Not even Dean Smith, after guiding Villa, is classed in your 5%, mate. Anyway, yeah, as a Gunners fan, mate, what's your take on this Liverpool?
I'm sorry.
Sorry, man.
Come again, Paul, as a Gunners fan.
I was saying from an Arsenal perspective, mate, what's your take on Liverpool? Are you happy to see? It's wrong to say, Jeff, a demise, right? But are you encouraged to see the challenges that they're going through right now? Does it give you hope for the Arsenal future with Arteta at the helm?
Well, what Liverpool is going through right now, Arsenal have gone through it, and what we're going through now, Liverpool has gone through it. And from my point of view, the way I'm seeing how Liverpool is playing, they need to have a different way to win games. They like to ping the ball around, especially coming through the sides. I think they need to play it more direct. And plus, with in terms of personnel, it's already given that you don't have enough center backs or your defense really. I think there should be a holding midfielder that's protecting the back four, and that could make the early pass through to the final third. That's what's missing, I think, in the Liverpool squad right now. I mean, it's not yet really hopeless, but they really need to find a way to win in a different manner, not just the way Liverpool or Klopp wanted to play. Just like the few podcasts ago, I was talking about his tactics have been found out. I mean, they need to play something else. They need to have a plan B. With the current squad that he has to grind out those results from those players.
I think you're right, mate. I think you're right. Listen, Jeff. I'm not one of these fans that likes to see a club go through demise. I'm really not. It's not part of my makeup, right? I feel for you, mate. I do. I just hope that it's a blip rather than the trend. On the flip side, I also hope we win our 2 games in hand and get above you in the league. Why wouldn't I? Right? I wouldn't be a Villa fan if I didn't.
Yeah, well, let's go the Blues on that. And look, let's be. I don't know what to say, and it's.
No, I know, mate.
I think it's been coming. I'm not overly surprised by this, and obviously the bookies aren't surprised by it either because they all said City was going to win the title this year, anyway, from the beginning of the season. I think I'm hoping it is just a blip. We just. We get some of these players back over the next few weeks, get through Leicester and Everton over the next next week. Top 4 has got to be the focus. And the other thing is that the squad is still strong and it's still set up well to succeed in the Champions League still because, the biggest problem Liverpool has is finding that way through those who are packing it in. People in the Champions League aren't packing it in. So there's no way Leipzig's going to be sitting there packing it 10 people behind the ball. So that'll at least be fun to watch versus the what we've got going on right now, which isn't very fun.
Cool. Mate, thanks very much for joining us. Let's pivot a little bit because I really appreciate you going through the pain for Liverpool. And I think actually we've done a very balanced view of things. So thanks, mate. I did want to very briefly talk about Six Nations. So Six Nations came back last weekend. Well, listen, right? I'm Welsh. Let's talk about how good, firstly, France were. I don't know if anybody saw the France-Italy game, but France are the team to watch, man. They were awesome against Italy, and they destroyed them at any given opportunity. Their back three, not their back three actually, their back line is frightening. It's absolutely frightening. The amount of talent they've got there and speed and skill is off the charts. I know there's talk about what do Italy actually bring to the Six Nations. Honestly, at the moment, I don't know. From a Welsh perspective, I'm just glad they're in there because in theory that should give us at least another win. Scotland really upset the form book, and it wasn't a fluke. They actually left points on the table. They outplayed England in every facet of the game. They didn't even give them a look in. I was trying to recall. I'm a big, and I hate saying this because I'm Welsh, but I'm a big Henry Slade fan. He's one of the classiest players at the outside centre that I think I've seen in a while. But I can't recall a time when he actually made a run or even made a break against the Scots. The Scots were basically in their face from the go. They were awesome, and they also had Finn Russell sent off, but simmed in for 10 minutes. And normally when that happens, the side who has the extra player, they normally score a minimum of 7 points, and that didn't happen. So kudos to Scotland. And then, so listen, yes, we won against Ireland, right? And we won thanks to that red card, right? Honestly, if they had 15 players on, we wouldn't have had a chance in hell. And the amount of mistakes we made, particularly in the first half, was embarrassing. For Ireland to score off our line out in our half, just before the half time, it's a joke. It's an absolute joke. So I'll take the win. I won't take the performance, and I can't see us beating Scotland next week. Ollie, you did all right money-wise, though. You had a decent bet running over the weekend, right?
Yeah, no, I told you, mate, it was going to be a good double. I also backed Wales to, I backed 3 teams, but I backed Wales to win the Six Nations. So it's a great start. You know what? You got a chance. If you could beat Scotland and then obviously at home to England, then, yeah, you never know, right?
If we do something against Scotland will be facing us with our tails up, right? We're not going to have our tails up because our performance was crap. But Scotland will have our tails up after beating England. It all really depends on how well everybody handles that situation. What will be in our favour is there's no fans. That will be in our favour against Scotland because we're going up to Murrayfield, right? So that we're not going to face that pressure. But honestly, mate, the way Scotland played on Saturday, they were phenomenal. They were phenomenal. Their back line, their back 3, the number 8 and their 2 flankers, awesome.
Yeah, but you have to remember, it is Scotland. So, you know, they qualified for the Euros. They beat England. They're bound to screw something up down the line. They just can't. They can't keep it going. So, hopefully for you, it's this weekend. And let's see if the French mentally can keep up. It was Italy, so let's see them play a real team.
Yeah, no, you're right, mate. You're right. I was just wondering, though, did you come onto the live stream with a determination to upset Scottish Manchester United fans and Manchester City fans? Was that your driving force?
City. I've already said City was going to win the league, and I'll stand by that. Anytime I can piss off Man United fans, I will take the opportunity to do so. And you know, the Scots are riding high right now. I mean, they've had it going for them. But when have they been in history? When have they been ever maintained this?
I'm not gonna comment on that because I'm a fellow Celt and I've got a bit of a soft spot for the Scots. But I hope you're right. I'm
just taking the piss. I'm just asking the question.
I know you are. No, I know.
I'm American, so who knows what people are saying about me?
Gentlemen, why don't we leave the last comment with you before we end today's podcast? The live stream. What's your take on Arsenal, mate? Where do you think you're going to finish this season now?
We're going to finish where we are, at the middle of the table. I don't see us going up further. The most probably is going to be around 8th. I'm not going to be happy with that, but there should be some major changes that's going to happen in the next transfer window. If we're not going to have those changes, we're just going to be just around the middle table. One thing that that irks me a lot is that Saliba was sent to Nice on loan. He did have a good relationship with Arteta. Never played a minute in the Premier League, or just a few minutes probably. And then now he's the player of the month for Nice. There's something really wrong in our club right now, and I wish it gets sorted out.
Actually, probably can I comment on that real quick?
Of course, yeah, go for it.
What shows what's really wrong with Arsenal is when a goalkeeper goes to Aston Villa and says it's an improvement in my career. You know things are going bad for Arsenal when they say that.
I don't know how to take that. I don't know if that's like a backhanded compliment or not. But yeah, he did, didn't he, Martinez? Some people said it was a step down. I thought it was a step up. Ooh.
2 clean sheets against Arsenal, so what can you say?
I know, I think he's in the running, right? He's got, is it 11 clean sheets in 19 games? He's in the running for Golden Glove, right?
Yeah, Ederson's going to get
that. But Leno had a fantastic January. Leno had the fantastic January. So, I guess, I honestly, I didn't want Martinez to leave, but he wants to be the number 1 keeper for Argentina. So, yeah, he is going to get more time and more practice in Aston Villa if he goes there. So it's a good career move for him.
Fair. Yeah, and he pulled off a cracking save first half when we were. Right, yeah, he did top corner, right? He pulled off a cracking save. So yeah, perfect. All right, guys, listen, we've done. Sorry, Jack, go on, mate.
Yeah, it also pays that he's been playing with those players for a long time, and he already knew where Xhaka's going to put it. So that cracking save that he did, it was just phenomenal. Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. Guys, thanks very much. We've lost Ollie, we've lost Mike. Jeff, thanks very much for giving up your time so freely, mate. I'm sorry for the abuse.
Anytime, mate.
I think you've handled it well. Take care. Jack,
I knew it was coming.
Thank you.
Take care, everyone. See you later.
Thank you. See ya.
Bye.